girls. This is Mrs. Howren, counselor at South Valley Middle School, and I am here to talk to you about our Signs of Suicide program for middle school. Today we'll be learning about suicide prevention. This can be a very tough topic. If you feel uncomfortable at any time, please feel free to let your teacher know and report to the library. There is someone there that's in there, and the library is open for anyone who finds this topic difficult at any time. In saying that, I want you all to make sure that we are being respectful of those that are around us, and we are taking this seriously and not talking while the video and while my presentation is going on. Something to remember is that help is always available. I want to let everyone know that there is a 988 crisis and suicide lifeline that was created over the summer, kind of like 911, and that there's also a crisis text line. You can just text ACT to 741-741. I will share these resources again at the very end. Today, I'm going to show you a video clip, and then after the video is over, I will go over what you learned in the video and kind of summarize what you saw. At the end of class, all students will complete an exit form marking whether or not they would like to speak to a counselor or social worker. And now I will go ahead and play our video.
Today we're going to learn about suicide prevention. You'll hear students and some experts talk about warning signs for suicide and what to do. This can be a difficult topic to talk about, but it's important to learn how we can help each other. Just remember, ACT. Acknowledge signs of suicide in a friend. Show your friend that you care. Tell a trusted adult. ACT is how you remember the 3 steps to help yourself or a friend. It might just save someone's life. Let's listen to students discuss mental health and getting help.
Yeah, I knew someone that was depressed and their entire mood changed. They went from wanting to do stuff to wanting to stay home all day, and they just didn't want to do anything, and they always seemed down. And
when I got depressed, I didn't want to do anything I used to, and everything that I used to think was fun was boring.
Like, I didn't want to ever leave the house. I was just super drained of everything and anybody. I didn't eat all that much, and I just felt really down all the time.
Feeling sad is usually a temporary thing that's related to something that happened in someone's life or some situation or event. Feeling depressed is when someone is experiencing maybe sad feelings and probably a bunch of other kinds of things that feel bad too over a long period of time, and that it's getting in the way of doing things that people typically like to do. People can become depressed for all sorts of different reasons. Sometimes it's because of a chemical change in their bodies. Sometimes it's because of a really, really upsetting situation that happened in their life. And sometimes it has to do with what might run in their family.
Depression impacts many parts of your life. It causes big changes in your feelings and actions. It can cloud your thinking and increase risk for suicide.
Thinking about suicide, it's usually an indicator that there's an underlying mental health issue, and that mental health issue tends to be depression. So some of the warning signs for suicide can be changes in our sleep patterns. So sleeping a lot more or sleeping a lot less than we used to, feeling really angry or irritable most of the time, as well as just feelings of hopelessness around the future.
See if you notice any of these warning signs in the scene between David and Aiden.
hey, what are you doing?
Trying to find my old soccer cleats.
Uh-huh. Why?
Because Emma's fell apart and Mom figures my old ones will last her through the season.
Just get new ones. They don't cost that much. I don't get it.
That's because you have 2 parents with jobs. I have 1 parent who can't work because of her condition, 2 kid sisters to take care of, and a worthless older brother.
Doesn't your brother have a job?
Well, yeah, but he only has money for junk food and games. None for Emma and Taylor. They deserve better.
I know it's that bad. You never said anything. To me, at least.
What's the point of whining about it? I'm trapped and there's nothing I can do about it. I love my little sisters, but there's only so much I can do for them. I don't have money, I can't work, I can't drive. I can barely pass my classes.
Why? You're as smart as me.
Well, first I just had a hard time concentrating, and I just didn't care. I feel like I have all this weight in my chest. I wish I could just drop dead like my Uncle Hector.
That stuff you're saying? In health science, Mr. Hughes said that if we heard someone saying something like that, to tell an adult.
Mr. Hughes said, you keep your big mouth shut and mind your own business. Understand?
Hey, I'm on your side. I just came by in case you wanted to hang out like we used to. I'm not gonna do anything behind your back. Just don't think it's because I'm afraid of you, because I'm not. Do what you want.
Here's what you don't want to do. Don't think that depression always looks like sadness. Anger is also common. And don't leave the person alone. Don't worry if you've reacted this way in the past. Let's look at the best way to respond.
Keep your big mouth shut and mind your own business. Understand?
You're threatening me? We've been friends since 3rd grade. You're not much good to your little sisters if you're all messed up. Or dead.
Well, I'd rather be dead than have you telling everyone about my problems.
If I was saying the things you're saying, you'd want to help, right? Look, I don't have your problems, but a lot of other kids do. Last year, a friend of ours was having a hard time keeping it together and got help. And it started by talking to an adult.
What friend? Who are you talking about?
I'm not going to tell you because I don't have a big mouth, no matter what you think.
In my family, we don't get counseling.
I know you feel like you can't talk to your mom, but my mom's easy to talk to. Let's go see what she thinks. Later on, I'll help you find those cleats. Okay?
What warning signs did you notice? Withdrawing from friends, can't concentrate or think straight, suddenly not caring about school, anger, feeling trapped and hopeless, saying things like, I wish I could drop dead. Here's what David did right. Act, acknowledge, paid attention to the warning signs he saw and took them seriously. Care, listen to Aiden and let him know he was worried about him. Tell, convinced Aiden to talk to an adult and took him straight there.
Have you ever been afraid to bring up a suicide because you thought that you might give a friend the idea?
I used to be like that, but now I know that it's okay to ask somebody if they're feeling suicidal. It's not going to put the idea in their head.
Yeah. Like when I was talking to my older sister who was depressed, she said that people who are thinking about it, they really do appreciate it because that gives them a chance to talk about it.
There are many common myths of suicide. One of them is that talking about suicide, if you bring it up or ask somebody, that it might make somebody suicidal. And that's a complete myth. The reality is the majority of time when someone brings it up, people feel super amounts of relief that someone noticed and someone is talking about it.
I think there are like some secrets that should be shared, and if you're worried about a friend that they might hurt themselves, I think you have to share that.
If you're really worried about somebody, then you're actually being a good friend by telling someone and asking for help. I had a friend once, and he just started acting really differently. He never hung out with us anymore, and he lost interest in school and sports and all the other things that he used to be into. So one day I stayed after school and talked to one of our teachers and told him what was going on. And I'm not exactly sure what happened after that, but my friend goes to counseling now and he seems like his normal self again.
They shouldn't feel ashamed of anything to just ask for help.
There's no shame in getting help, ever.
Sometimes when people have depression, it can change the way that people think about things, and problems that might otherwise be easily solvable start to feel like a really big deal. And the thing is, it's really important to remember is that depression is treatable and people can get better if they get help. So it's really important if you think that you or someone you know might be experiencing symptoms of depression that you get them to an adult so that they can get help.
Okay, so I know that was a lot of information, and I kind of just wanted to recap a couple of the really important pieces that you just watched. So, The one thing I want to mention is, there's a difference between sadness and depression. We are all going to feel some sort of sadness at some point in our life. That's a natural feeling. You will have a day where you're just like, ugh, things are just not going my way today. But it's a temporary feeling that eventually it goes away. It's not happening for a long period of time. Depression is different. It's where you feel that sadness for, 2 weeks or longer, and it's just you can't get yourself out of the hole. Depression is a serious health condition that affects both your mind and your body. It's so important. There is treatment for depression, and so when you're feeling this way, it's important to reach out for help. So a warning sign. What is a warning sign if someone's depression has gotten so bad that someone might be thinking about suicide? You might notice a big change in their behavior. You've noticed that they're no longer wanting to do the things that they used to love. They don't want to hang out with you anymore. They seem to be wanting to just be in their room and stay in bed, and they're having a hard time getting out of bed to actually, perform day-to-day tasks. They all of a sudden are showing extreme anger and sadness for, quite some time. And then the biggest warning sign is that someone's actually talking about suicide, like we saw in the video where he said, "I wish I could just drop dead." So warning signs that we saw with Aiden. His relationship difficulties. David said Aiden isn't hanging out with him like he used to. He's having a hard time in school, even though he's very smart. He can't concentrate. He feels very hopeless, and he's having a large amount of negative thoughts, and he just feels like there's just this weight on his chest that he can't get rid of, and he makes the comment that he wishes he could just drop dead. So what we want you all to remember at South Valley is that if you ever have a friend that shows any of these warning signs, that you remember to act, okay? And ACT stands for acknowledge, care, and tell. Acknowledge that they are going through something. And once you do that, then you show them that you care. You let them know, hey, I don't want you feeling this way. I can help you find help. Like, let's get you feeling better. And then the T is to find a trusted adult. And this can be a teacher, a parent, a counselor, a coach, any adult that you trust that would help you help your friend. So how does David act in the right way? David, he points out that Aiden isn't acting like himself, and he takes what Aiden says about, I just want to drop dead very seriously. And he reminds Aiden, hey, if I ever said something like this, you would want to get me help. I want to help you. You're my friend. He definitely makes sure that he doesn't leave Aiden alone, and he doesn't give up on him even when Aiden is yelling at him and is angry at him. So David helps Aiden by telling him to think of an adult that he could talk to, and he goes with him to make sure that he follows through. So what makes someone a trusted adult? It's any adult that you feel like you can go and talk to, and they can help you help your friend. Okay, so I want you to think about who are some of the trusted adults in your life that you could rely on if you were ever put in this situation. What should you do if you are worried about a friend but they tell you nothing's wrong? Sometimes, people will say they're fine when they are feeling depressed or even thinking about suicide, but it's so important that you look out for warning signs. And even if you just wanted someone to just do a check-in, just to make sure that your friend's okay, trust your instincts. And always, if you are worried, you should tell a trusted adult. It's very important that everyone develops some type of coping skill. And a coping skill is how people deal with things when things are hard. They can be anything from, going for a run, doing a walk around the neighborhood, journaling. That's a great way to get your feelings and thoughts on paper, and it kind of feels like you're talking to someone. Talking to your friends, your family, even your teachers, we're all here for you. And listening to music. There's plenty of coping skills out there, And everyone at some point will deal with some sort of sadness or anxiousness or the feeling of being overwhelmed. And so we have to figure out what's a good coping skill for me. And if you need help trying to figure out coping skills, you are more than welcome to come to the counseling center. I really appreciate all of you guys listening and making sure that we take care of everybody here. I want you to know that the SVMS staff, we're here if you need anything. We can always be a trusted adult for you if you need something. Remember, help is always available. All right, there's that 988 number that they have, and they also have the crisis text sign. And if you don't remember this, we have it up on our website, so you can get those numbers from there.